Do not be in some other teacher's spot. I want to fill that whole back area right there. If you're in my journalism, it's gone from pirate to superstar. Okay, guys, I want cell phones to put away right now. Miguel's not coming out right this second. So, I know, get me for a minute. All right, so what else? For Torri Shack.
How you doing? Yes. So Miguel will be out shortly, but I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about mental health, because that is what my charity is about, and that's what Miguel is an ambassador for. And he's going to talk to you about his story, okay? So what we are is we're a nonprofit that was formed to educate, provide tangible support, and inspire youth and young adults who are struggling with mental illness, suicidal ideation, addiction, and sexual and gender identity issues. What we do is we provide awareness education, which is like what we're doing right now, right? We do workshops with the youth and young adults to help stimulate conversation. We have partnerships with social influencers, celebrities, the such as Miguel. We provide recommendations for mental health professionals and additional LGBTQ professionals as well. We do one-on-one peer-to-peer led support groups through NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness. And we do fitness programs. So a little bit about myself. My name is Torri Shack. Thank you for having me. I'll go ahead. So when I was in high school, well, first of all, I'm a two-time attempted suicide survivor. When I was in high school, I grew up in Orange County, California. Does anybody know about Orange County and know anything about it? It's kind of like, but yeah, it was when I was living there. Obviously, I'm gay, as maybe you guys can tell. That's pretty evident, I guess. Well, when I grew up in Orange County, it was definitely not okay to be gay at all, not even a little bit. And my father was not okay with it. My mom, it was just not okay. It was not accepted at all. I didn't see myself having a life outside of being straight. That's where I was raised. I was told I was going to become an attorney. I was either going to become a doctor or an engineer. And I was going to get married. And I was going to have 2 kids and 2 dogs and a white picket fence. That's what I was told and how I was raised. And I was also raised, my father was a raging racist, okay? That's right. And so I grew up in a super racist household that was extremely homophobic. So if you can imagine that, trying to grow up and being this. So when I was about 15 years old, I came to understand myself as being depressed. I didn't know what that really was. And I started self-harming quite a bit. And I didn't see myself with 2 kids and a husband and a dog, or 2 dogs and a white picket fence. So I attempted suicide at age 15. When I got out of there, I started using drugs and alcohol pretty heavily to self-medicate and to basically dampen the symptoms of my depression and my mental illness, which I was aware of at the moment, but then again there was this huge stigma. My father did not want anybody who was crazy, quote unquote, in the family. So he told my mother that I could go to therapy under 2 circumstances. 1, he'd pay cash only and do not use insurance because he did not want a paper trail of my mental illness at all, leading back to him or the family. So that's how I was raised. And it took me a long time to overcome a lot of the stigma, and that's why I started this movement. Later in my life, I was in and out of treatment centers. I relapsed and got sober, And then I was in a couple of mental institutions for severe depressive episodes. My second attempt at suicide was as an adult. I got a great career traveling with mostly R&B artists around the world as their wellness professional. And at that time I was struggling deeply with depression, addiction, a severe eating disorder, and severe mental illness. And that was my second attempt at suicide. So obviously I'm not very good at that part, as I'm standing here today before you, which I'm very glad that I am. And that was my last time I was in treatment 9 years ago. Thank you. And I've been sober and abstinent from my eating disorder ever since. And I have come into acceptance of my mental illness, which is bipolar disorder. And today, I do not let my mental illness define me. And that is the message that I really want to convey today. And we're going to show you some statistics and a little bit more information, but that's basically why I started this movement. I wanted to help other youth and young adults who were going through the similar things I was going through, knowing that there's a solution, recovery is possible, and you can have a normal, regular life living with a mental health condition. And as I stand before you today, I have a wonderful life today. I'm recently married. To a female. And I got a great career. I've got great friends like, Miguel. So with that, I'll give you a little bit of the presentation and we'll get him up here on stage. Here's Miguel. He's our ambassador. So I take it you guys know who he is. Just so you guys know, we are a fully self-supported nonprofit organization. None of us are paid for this organization. All the money goes into doing stuff like this. So I'm not paid from this organization. My executive team is not paid from this organization. Neither is my advisory board. We do this basically for free so that we can help everybody else like yourself. So that's what I want you guys to know. Ways to be mentally healthy, for me, really important things as wellness. Fitness, meditation, and talking to others as well. What are mental health conditions? If you're not aware, mental health conditions are medical conditions. It's like somebody having cancer or somebody having a medical condition. It's not anybody's fault. Conditions that change the way people think and feel and act, and they are common and treatable. This is another video, but I don't think it's gonna... Look around you guys, right? 1 in 5 in the US will experience a mental health condition or are experiencing a mental health condition. 1 in 5. So what that means is be kind to one another. You don't know what each other are going through, and you're not alone. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and limit the amount of stereotyping that we're doing as far as stigma is concerned. So no bullying, discrimination, labels, etc. And here are some warning signs of mental health conditions. If you're feeling very sad or withdrawn for more than 2 weeks, using alcohol or drugs excessively, risk-taking behaviors or self-harm, overwhelming fear for no reason, that's anxiety, believing or hearing things that aren't real, that's psychosis, and drastic changes in mood or behavior, personality, and eating and sleeping. So what you can do, You can trust to a trusted adult or a friend, and or check out our resources page. Another video for you guys. I want to thank you very much for having me. If you guys need any resources, please visit our website, tangiblemovement.org, and please be kind to one another and just know that you're not alone. Now, without further ado, I would like to welcome to the stage Miguel.
Let me get a good look at you. How's everybody feeling? Okay, we don't have much time today, so I want to make sure that I get to talk to you guys. Good things come to those that wait up, but don't wait to jump in too long. Don't sleep, you gotta stay up. What? Don't sleep, you gotta stay up. That's right. I wrote a song called Skywalker about 2 years ago. And since releasing it, it's become 3 times platinum in the United States alone. I've had the pleasure of writing a few songs that you guys might know. But I was born not too far from here, and I grew up on 3rd and Center, and I came to this very high school in San Pedro. My name is Miguel Pimentel, for those of you who don't know. There's a few teachers here who know me. Shout out to Mr. Espeleta. I graduated from this high school in 2003, which is, yes, that was a long time ago. And I dreamed at the time of being a successful musician, songwriter, and producer, which I can say, with God's grace and with the love and support of people like you guys, I've accomplished. So thank you very much. Well, let's rewind. I want to tell you a little bit about who I was when I was here, how I was when I was here. You see, I always had a smile on my face. I was known to walk down the hallways singing loudly. I talked out of turn in class, but I was pretty much a good kid. I didn't really do too much extracurricular because I was focused on my dream. Even then, I knew it was important not to sleep on myself and what I believed in. So while everyone had their dreams and aspirations and were focused on doing things like going to college, and pursuing what it was they had in their mind, I was focused after school, in school, on writing songs and making music. From graduating in 2003 though, it took me 3 years before I got my first deal, my first shot. In 2006, I signed to a really small independent company from upstate in San Jose and Oakland. And the deal was like real small. I put out a song called Get Your Hands Up. Don't ever go to YouTube and look this video up, please. Don't do it. Do yourself a favor. But I felt like I was on my way. In 2006, 3 years after I graduated high school, I felt like I was moving in the right direction. And to be honest with you, it was in line with my ultimate goals. And so I worked for 2 more years to try and get the song off and to really break as an artist, but unfortunately things just didn't work out. And so in 2009, I had the opportunity to meet someone who was really important in the industry and had been known to make big moves for artists that I had looked up to my entire life. A man named Mark Pitts gave me a shot to come and see him and meet him and play some music for him in New York. Mark Pitts today is still a mentor and close friend of mine. And eventually he ended up signing me to Jive Records, which is ultimately Sony International. So at about the age of 23, 24, I signed my first major deal, which was incredible for me. Love you too, thank you. Now I say all that to say this. I started out right here in San Pedro, and I did not sleep on what it was I believed I was going to do. Now, after all that time, once I signed in 2009, I got hit with a legal battle from my old label that had me sitting and waiting to put music out for 3 entire years. So for 3 years, all of that don't sleep, you gotta stay up talk, I did a lot of sleeping. I slept a lot. Actually, in retrospect, I realized it was my first experience with depression. Yes, I slept all day. I had no job. I had no money. I wasn't writing songs because I was so down about the fact that I couldn't put songs out in the first place. For 3 whole years, I sat in an apartment with my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife. I was the deadbeat boyfriend. I was the guy that just kind of waited at home and didn't really do much. On top of that, the songs that I did get to write in that 3-year period, all were on a hard drive that eventually died on the 3rd year, just before I was able to put music out. So all the music, any ideas that I had, they were gone, just like that. So I was really down on myself, but in 2011, after a long battle with a long legal battle, I had the opportunity to put my first single, All I Want Is You, out, and it turned out to be the kind of the song that really broke me as an artist. And from 2011 to 2020, 9 whole years of working hard and putting passion into this thing and really loving it and loving my fans and having all these opportunities, I've since become a Grammy award-winning musician, producer, writer. I've gotten to travel the world, I've gotten to do a lot of awesome things. But the real lesson in the whole thing is that life oscillates up and down, and that's just all we can detect. Like, we can depend on life being an up and down challenge and experience. And the crazy thing is that when I was down, down in the deepest part, spiraling the very first time, I had no idea that I was dealing with depression. And a lot here in this room are dealing with similar things, similar symptoms of depression. By show of hands, has anyone ever felt like they didn't want to wake up in the morning? Not because you're tired, you didn't finish your homework. I'm talking about you have pressure in life. We all are experiencing some kind of pressure in life that makes us not want to motivate and get what we need to get done. Now I want to go over a couple things that have helped me in my times of darkness, because since my first battle with depression, I've experienced depression again. In 2018, my grandmother passed, which is the very first death in our family. And 1 year later, my grandfather passed. And I was on the road at the time. I at least got to say goodbye to both of them, but I didn't really deal with all of the emotion, all of the pain, the loss, the weight of all of that, because I was on the road. And when I finally got off the road from being on tour for a good year, I realized that I was in a deep, dark place. And it took a long time for me to realize that I needed help. And one of the first things I did was seek out a therapist, someone to help me get my emotions out and address the things that were really on my heart and on my mind and just really weighing me down, to at least address and untangle, you know, where I was going. On top of that, I got back into my routine with meditation. I don't know if you guys have ever tried meditation. Anyone here like to meditate or ever had any experience with meditation? And like Torri said, I got back on my workouts. These things have helped me to realign and not sleep on my own dreams. So the three things I want to go over before I leave is these three things. Is 1, purpose. 2, routine. And really, let's just go over those two. That one is a little long. It's a little long. So purpose. I want to talk about purpose. Remember the line. Don't sleep, you gotta stay up. What? Don't sleep, you gotta stay up. That's right. So not sleeping on yourself, having an ultimate goal, having a place in the distance, a thing that you want to accomplish, completely changes how you relate to where you are and what you're experiencing in the now. Because right now, we're all experiencing some kind of challenge in some kind of way. Maybe it's family related. Maybe it's, you know, economics. Maybe it's the pressure of just coming to school and dealing with people that don't really like you or you don't get along with. Or maybe it's a challenge in learning. Or maybe it could be a number of things. But having a larger purpose and a sense of where we want to go and giving yourself the time to really figure that out for yourself completely changes how you relate to this moment in time. It completely helps you regulate how important the challenge is right in this moment and how important it is to overcome that challenge to get to your ultimate purpose. You see those battles in the last 9 years of mine with depression, the challenges of what comes with being a musician and being an artist, but things that are hard to fathom, I was able to do because I was able to see what the ultimate purpose was. And it took me some time to realize and figure that out for myself. And you know what? It changes as you go in life, I've realized. Because when I was here in high school, all I wanted to do was make songs and produce songs and become an artist that was successful. And once I reached that goal, I realized that what came along with that was forcing me to reassess what my purpose is. So now I realize that my purpose has so much more to telling people who are just like me, finding people who are like me, and giving them a little bit of encouragement and the things that I wish I would have heard when I was in their position. So that's 1. Having your purpose and locking that in your mind, whatever that is right now in that time, set the goal because you will get there if you don't sleep on your own dreams. Number two is routine, man, and this shit has helped me so much. Having a routine, yes, I curse. We're about grown here, right? Yeah. Routine. Having something that is repetitive that allows you to set your own intention. For me, it's meditation and exercise, but having a way that you can kind of set your day up so you're in a place where you can be cognizant of how everything that's happening in the day relates to that purpose has really helped me. So whatever that is for me, it's exercise. I wake up in the morning, I try and get a quick meditation in. For those of you who haven't tried meditation, I would highly suggest trying this simple 6-phase meditation. It's on YouTube. You can literally Google 6-phase meditation. And it walks you through purpose, your any negative experiences you've had with people, gratitude, and it also walks you through pretty much relating to your goal and imagining how that will feel when you accomplish that. It puts you in the right mindset to really, tackle the day. Then after that, I get a quick workout in, get the blood flowing, and then I'm ready to keep going. But whatever it is for you guys, finding that everyday routine that you do can be super helpful in staying focused and overcoming any challenges or depression or anxiety or the things that we all may have to deal with on a day-to-day. Ultimately, these things have helped me, these tools have really helped me to deal and manage my depression, because I deal with it today. I still deal with the passing of my grandparents. I still look at the things that I'm not, the things that I lack, the things that I haven't accomplished, the reasons why. I still go over these questions daily, and they bother me. But it's the things that I do in the morning and understanding that I have something to offer, that I have a way to give back, that I have something to say and something to share, just like you do, that help me manage any of the things that get heavy. So if nothing else, I really hope that you guys can keep in mind that even though it's real hard not to sleep on yourself sometimes all of the weight of the world comes and it makes you distracted and you forget exactly where you're trying to go. You can always realign. You don't have to sleep on yourself. Because even in high school, in 2003, I knew that I would be at the Grammys tripping and falling. I literally said it. What does that say? Most likely to trip and fall down the red carpet at the Grammys. And you did it! I did it. Fucking did it! Yeah, I know I was clumsy even then. So today I think the next thing I really want to do is just, while I'm here, is to take any questions, answer any questions that I can. How you doing? How you doing? Here you go.
Alright, we're going to do a Q&A. Alright, so let's keep the questions appropriate. Alright.
Miguel, my name's Luca, man.
What's up, Luca?
Ever since I was a kid, you've been my idol, bro, and you're the reason I'm a singer-songwriter and a producer. And I know this is a long shot, but I was going to ask if I could show you what I got on the piano. If not, it's okay, I understand.
I would love to hear you play. But I want to do that after we finish all of this. If that's all right?
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm pretty sure that that's what they would ask for. Can we make sure that? Yeah.
First of all, hi.
Hello.
I just want to know, like, how does your family feel about, like, your success and your, like, how's that?
Man, I will say that I've been blessed to have a family who've all been super supportive and haven't really been. They haven't put a lot of pressure on me for a lot of things. They just want to love and support me and always kind of keep things in check. So they treat me like, you know, I'm Mike there. I'm their family. So, thank you for asking. I appreciate that.
Got time.
Hi, my name is Brandon Vegas.
Hi, Brandon.
And first I want to say, if you remember from Dana, you coming to visit the kind of show, I was there. So,
sick. Yeah, good to see you again.
Good to see you too. I have a question. So you say you meditate every morning, right? Do you feel somewhat, I don't want to say necessarily lost, but like not yourself if you forget to meditate, or what other methods do you use to?
Right. So I mean, every day is different. Some days I meditate and I don't feel better, or as good as other days, I would say. Some days I don't get to meditate because of schedule, or not in the time that I normally would. But when I don't meditate, I do try and find time for myself to just breathe, because I just realize that I need to do that for myself. Otherwise, it gets hectic. Just my mind gets hectic.
I feel it, I feel it. I just want to say thank you. Your songs really do make a big difference.
Thank you, appreciate it. Everybody who was here though, it's big love. Thank you guys, take care of yourselves. Don't sleep on yourselves.
So, when sorry, kind of nervous. So, when I was younger, I got bullied for being fat, and I joined football. Now look at me! Yeah!
I like that.
One more and then we're good.
I like that you're supporting yourself. With that, celebrate yourself. With that. Yeah.
My name is Sylvia. Hi.
Hi, Sylvia.
I wanted to ask, who was someone that is special to you and was always there for you when you were in your dark times?
Yeah. I've been really lucky to have, again, I have a family that's been supportive. I would say the closest ones would be, man, I have family that are not blood family, but that have been with me and they become my family. You know, I have my friend Drew who's here with me. He's like family. He's been with me through ups and downs. My brother Nicholas, my wife Nazanin, my father, whenever I needed him. You know, the family's always been there for me. So I've been pretty blessed. But the real thing is that sometimes I learned that you have to help yourself. Sometimes there's certain things that other people can't help you with, and that's where therapy really helped me help myself. You know, I was dealing with issues that were not even real. You know, some of it was just the way that I naturally would think. It's kind of like, you probably could walk here to you live in San Pedro? You know the way home by heart. You don't need Google Maps. You don't need to check anything. You know exactly how to get there. And the real truth is that as we grow up, we start to think in ways that are just natural or normal. And we go down the same roads when we see things that are familiar and we assume things. Our minds work in the same way. And the more and more that we reinforce these ways of thinking, the more likely we are to repeat them. So, in a way that I could see things in a positive, if I'm naturally going the negative route, I'll just keep going the negative route. And it took seeing a therapist for me to recognize that I don't have to go that way. I don't have to make that left or right turn. I can keep going straight or go a different route and correct it. So that's helped a lot.
Round of applause for Miguel, everybody. Thank you very much for having us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys again. Take care. If nothing else, don't sleep on yourself, you got it. Whatever it is you dream of, you can accomplish it. My name is Miguel, thank you very much, man. Thank you, Tangible Movement, thank you, Torri, thank you, San Pedro High, and all the administrators here, the teachers, thank you very much.